TJ DeSantis, Julia Ottolino, Octagon side. Brand new Octagon 4 Invicta FC on debut here tonight. Ottolino in the black. Cawley in the white.
Ottolino's got a long stance. Her hands are down a bit, but she's doing a little bit of testing there of range. She's got only 1 inch reach advantage, but that could be quite a bit when the melee starts.
Really comes down to finding that range and understanding it, and 1 inch can be maximized. It's funny when you think about it just being an inch, but if you know how to use it, it can play dividends or pay dividends in a fight.
Absolutely.
Ottolino standing southpaw, attacking that lead leg with a kick, following up with some punches that miss the mark.
She has utilized that kick a couple of times for range, TJ. Going back to a standard. Oops.
Showing off a variety of dynamic strikes here early is Ottolino, and again back to that lead leg of Cawley. Nice right hand there. Cawley, like her teammate Felicia Spencer, has a base in Taekwondo. We'll see if she has some tricks of her own.
Eating another leg kick there, but yeah, that was a good overhand. She was doing, that leg kick's actually starting to show already. She was doing a nice job of moving up and down with her head before that big overhand landed there, but that leg I think is already starting to hurt.
Just past the 92nd point into this one. Spinning back kick attempt there by Cawley. Pressing forward though is Ottolino. TJ DeSantis, Julia Ottolino here in Kansas City. We are on Twitter at TJ DeSantis, at JulesK_fighter, at Invicta Fights, hashtag Invicta FC 36. Kick to the body there by Ottolino. Power behind the punch there.
You can see Ottolino, her hands are a little bit wide, her stance a little bit wide. Like I said, she's fast. She's delivering very quickly in those exchanges. Cawley's a little bit more cautious there.
Ottolino switching back from orthodox to southpaw as well. Ottolino, a collegiate athlete. We talked about her basketball history. Trying to answer the kicks of Ottolino is Cawley with some punches, but he's a punch from the Chicago native. Coming forward now is Ottolino into the clinch.
You can see that left hook was really kind of what got her there. Chicago's getting to the inside with her head early on, looking for that, trying to reap the leg down.
Both these women have amateur experience tonight, fighting as a professional for the first time. And the rounds longer here as a professional, 5 minutes instead of 3. We passed that 3-minute mark here in round number 1.
Nice hip wedge there. Look at the way Chicago Ottolino, I keep going, I love the Chicago name. She's wedging her right knee in between the legs of Megan Cawley, trying to prevent her from shifting her hips back and forth. It's a really good pin position. She can't launch too much offense there besides small strikes and a takedown attempt, but it's a very nice way of frustrating her opponent and getting underneath her center of balance.
They're really controlling the pace here. 90 seconds left in the round, and Ottolino sells out for a takedown, but countered there by Cawley. Now Cawley pushing Ottolino into the fence.
And that lateral drop would not have been my choice for a takedown, but she recovered well from that, and you know, they're back out at range.
With the lead leg of Cawley. Cawley has the nickname The Killer. She said it's because she's a self-described jerk sometimes in the gym and goes a little hard sometimes. She'll probably turn it up here in the final minute of this first round, see if she can show that killer instinct.
I had that problem a bit as well as when I was training, TJ. And yeah, you could see when she's going against Felicia Spencer, Spencer's obviously a featherweight and she's a bantamweight, so she's probably had to kind of up her intensity there. Now fighting somebody of her own weight class, she's probably able to take some of the, the bigger strikes there, but in the cage, in the actual fight, is a little bit different than in a training center.
Ottolino feigning with that Superman punch. Really showing a variety of strikes here. Final 30 seconds, less than that here in this first round. You
can see Megan Cawley she's still trying to get that range on there. She had some success with that overhand. I think she's trying to time that, but the kind of unorthodox striking. Ooh, nice elbow.
Combination there. Final 10 seconds here in the round. Cawley a little too with a clinch here. 5 minutes in the books between these bantamweights. Round 2 underway. Megan Cawley, Julia Ottolino.
Megan Cawley's pressing forward early. You know, again, maybe that leg isn't hurt. It seems like those strikes are connecting well, but she's definitely looking to get an upper hand. She may have an idea of range now or of the damage, you know, what she's able to execute right there. I think she's really looking for that big overhand again to a takedown attempt.
Cawley comes high with a high kick.
Could be completely wrong. Nice right hand there.
Just the posture of Cawley is a bit more aggressive here in the second round than it was in the first.
It is, and you know, we've seen Felicia Spencer do some really beautiful takedowns from judo and from clinching positions, and it may be that she's looking for that inside control so she can get the taller fighter on her back.
Big swing and a miss with the right hand by Cawley. Changing kicks.
Ottolino's doing a very good job of circling, finding those attacks, and staying long.
Big punches here by Ottolino, pushing Cawley back into the fence.
See, Cawley turned her back there a little bit. She flinched a little bit there with those strikes. Not a good idea to do against somebody who's moving straight forward.
Saw this position earlier in the fight. Double underhooks here now, though, for Ottolino. Ottolino was content to keep the clinch and strike from there. She did go for a takedown that was countered wisely by Cawley. We'll see if she tries to get the fight back to the floor or wants to keep this a cage fight.
Yeah, they're both jockeying kind of for a position to get off the cage, but to get that underhook as well.
Ottolino really changing her striking stance. See some creative stuff there by Ottolino. I wonder if she has certain kicks available from one side compared to the other.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that capoeira kick was, you know, beautifully executed or attempted, I should say, not quite at range. But afterwards, that kick looked like it hit to the liver quite well. You know, she did that earlier where the knee connected with the liver on the kick. And it looks like she might be targeting there.
Sometimes when you throw a technique like that, even if it doesn't land, it forces your opponent to be wary of it.
And I really like the way, I like the way Cawley ducked her head when she threw that left kick. That was nicely done. And again, we saw another kick, which actually definitely caught Ottolino's attention in that throw.
Cawley coming alive with some powerful strikes, trying to find a home halfway through the fight. Kick to the body again by Ottolino. Very confident with these unorthodox kicks is Ottolino, and now she finds herself in the clinch.
Yeah, she's confident with those kicks, but I actually don't think, given her Taekwondo background, it's not something Cawley has not seen.
Right.
You know, side kicks and hook kicks and spinning kicks are quite common in that sport. Cawley's definitely, you know, getting her grit on. Her head's ducked a little bit more. She's swinging kind of wildly, but she's trying to get a read on her, and you can see Ottolino's got a little bit more respect, a little bit more awareness and backpedaling a tiny bit more in these exchanges now. Well, there she goes forward.
Nice kick to the body by Ottolino. Cawley firing off a right hand that doesn't find its mark.
And I'm thinking those liver kicks are going to add up, TJ. It'd be interesting to see if she targeted the inside leg as well. She was targeting the outside of Cawley's left leg. The inside of that leg is, ooh, nice Superman.
Beautiful right hand. Those kicks as well going to the body, that can set up the head for a target later on as well. You get your opponent starting to think you're going a certain way. Love all the contributions on Twitter, at Invicta Fights, at TJ DeSantis, at JulesK_fighter, hashtag Invicta FC 36. Nice offense there, backs up Cawley.
That head kick was responded to very well with straight punches. Good counter against any kind of kick is that straight attack.
Left high kick served up by Ottolino. That one reverberated around Memorial Hall. Cawley seems to be content to try to answer the kick with some punches. But that lead leg has been chopped up a bit here through the better part of 2 rounds.
Ooh, nice response. That overhand which hit Ottolino earlier on, she's responding now with that left hook. Megan like I said, she's got her grit on. You know, she's definitely putting her head forward. You can see that her leg is getting some wear on it, but she's coming forward with that jab, trying to launch that attack and close in on her.
I think the big thing for Megan Cawley is she's eaten some offense, but she's undeterred still. She's still very aggressive, and while her offense hasn't landed the way that she wants it, she hasn't stopped throwing.
No.
Megan Cawley can get some more punches on the button here in round number 3. I got to believe that she might be down here in the judges' scorecards. Third and final round underway. Again with that lead leg kick is Ottolino.
Ottolino's kind of on her bicycle there, looking for that opportunity. Megan Cawley probably knows that she's not going to be able to sustain that. Well, maybe she can't sustain more leg kicks, but it's not a great idea to keep getting kicked in the leg there, and so she's looking for those counters. I'm wondering if the way she kind of crouched down like that is her way of protecting her liver too, which also was hit quite a few times. Nice.
It's been there a few times for Ottolino.
Ottolino carries her hands very low and she stands very tall, TJ. Against, you know, a fighter who can read that counterattack with a little bit more strength, she could have some trouble. I think, oh, nicely done with that backside kick, well timed. Cawley's definitely looking for those openings, but you know, both of them are kind of looking for big one-shot hits too, which can be detrimental in a fight. It's usually the second shot that lands better, or third.
Cawley eats a kick, tries to answer with a body shot there. Another kick on display by Ottolino. Cawley marching forward though. You can really see the confidence on display here of Ottolino, painting with some punches, but it's been the kicking offense that's really paid dividends. Now big hard right hand coming forward with some punches. Cawley covering up, trying to get in the clinch, trying to get away from the power of Julia Ottolino. Cawley the run.
Wow, that was a nice uppercut. You can see Cawley's trying to tie up, trying to stop that flurry, and she's able to survive that. But that was a lot of punching damage she sustained right there, TJ.
Long time here yet for Ottolino to work. 3 minutes remaining in the fight, but Cawley is composed.
See, Ottolino's getting real excited about those kicks, you know, setting up some fakes, but that she's got to be pretty cautious with that right leg kick now. Put some punches in front of it because Cawley definitely wants that overhand.
Cawley talked a lot about confidence and building it up. She lost her first amateur fight, was devastated, didn't go to the gym for a while, stayed at home and tried, got through it, and then built her confidence back up. Won her second fight in very dominant fashion, but she said she prides herself on a never give up attitude. And Julie, she's got to kind of bite down on that mouthpiece and make something happen here with less than 2.5 remaining in the fight.
There's that inside leg kick, you know, a good strategy for kickers, working the outside, really working the outside, then working the inside.
Nice left hand, though, by Cawley there.
Ottolino's definitely picking her shots right now. It would be fun to see another flurry there, but I think she's you know, she respects the power and she's of her opponent, and she's looking for, maybe she's looking for a leg kick finish. Ooh, inside crescent.
Cawley moving forward, Ottolino on her bike, circling away, but coming forward with some shots. Talk about the composure here, both of these women making their professional debuts. I think the composure on display is a testament to having an amateur background. That's not something that a lot of female athletes were allowed in the early days of women's mixed martial arts, and they're showing their ability to be composed and aggressive in an aggressive fight here in this third and final round.
And we've seen Cawley kind of throw that right hook to the body. You don't see a lot of that in MMA because of where your head can be placed in that. Ooh, another liver shot. But it's nice to see body shots in MMA. Fighters try to utilize that and really incorporate that more into their game.
Final minute here left in the fight. Kicks just piling up by Julia Ottolino.
Yeah, I think checking those kicks would be a good idea.
Nice left hand as Ottolino is coming forward, but now she's putting on the offense, making Cawley feel it here up against the fence.
Cawley's reaching around the head right there, but again, you see Ottolino wedging in between the two legs and actually reaching around, controlling the wrist and trying to get her head in a good spot. I think she's trying to set up some elbows right there.
Ottolino disengaged, allowed Cawley to get back at space.
And it can be exhausting to fight somebody who keeps marching forward, no matter how many times you hit them in the leg.
Final 10 seconds here between these two bantamweights. Swing and a miss by Cawley. That's a wrap, 15 minutes in the books. Julia Ottolino, Megan Cawley, they embrace, nice sign of sportsmanship.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. All three judges have about the same 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision. Julia Chicago Ottolino.
Chalk one up for the Windy City. Julia Ottolino victorious in her professional debut. And now we are underway. Autumn Norton in the white, Erin Harpe in the black.
Harpe is moving forward very fast, really trying to close in. Oh, wow.
Use those strikes and trying to get a takedown now. Clinched up. We talk all day about her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu prowess, but turning on the strikes here early.
And you can see Norton's working for that clinch, grabbing the head there and trying to get away. It looks like she's had a little damage to, again, I'm calling liver shots today, but it looked like she got hit there pretty well. But, you know, Norton charging in like she did before the bell. She's a former corrections officer, and she said she's really not scared of anyone.
How can you be after doing that line of work for many years?
And Erin Harpe very eager with that takedown in the beginning, and when Norton was back up to her feet, you know, she tried to maintain that clinch, but they were able to, or they split apart. Now she's at range. Ooh, big overhand from her.
So Harpe answering with some punches immediately.
Harpe's got big movement on the outside. Nice fakes and feints there.
Harpe wanted to make up for lost time, turned pro back in 2015, had a knee injury, kept her out of competition for a very long time, and we're seeing her get back to action tonight in an aggressive way. Coming up on 90 seconds down here in this first round.
It's head movement from Norton, trying to get those fakes and feints as well. Sharp little shots. Needs to get maybe a little bit closer.
Nice jab there. Finds a home for Norton. Very fast is Harpe with the combination, trying to get a single leg now. Quick right hands here in the clinch by Norton, but she is taken down. Half butterfly.
And that was well done by Harpe to go attempt after attempt with those takedown attempts.
See, close guard here for Norton. She opens it up. Looked like she was going to try to maybe go for a scissor sweep.
This is a good position to do some damage on somebody when they have their head buried, though. You know, with those elbows, she can really use her reach to strike, but ooh,
armbar attempt there by Norton. Harpe able to use the opportunity to pass the guard, settles inside.
Does a nice job of controlling both of the legs to get past that hip, and you can see Norton's blocking out now with that right elbow, trying to create enough space to shrink in.
Cage is a factor here. Who is it benefiting thus far? Norton kind of stuck against it, but this could also limit the offense of Harpe.
It could limit the offense of Harpe. I think this is a good position for her to deliver ground and pound more than submission attempts. I mean, she could definitely try for an armbar on that side. I think Norton should utilize the cage by either getting her back up against it and use it to climb up, and use her feet to propel herself.
Norton able to get a half guard set up.
And she's locking down the left arm of Harpe, and Harpe's attacking, you know, with her right hand. You can see Norton's now almost grabbing the cage, trying to use that cage to get herself in a position where she can get to her feet. Harpe's trying to shut down the hips and split the the posture so that she can keep control. She really needs to probably pull her away from the cage there. She's actually in danger, Harpe, of being off balance right there if Norton can get that tilt or control the head there. But nice strikes to the inside. I think Harpe is very happy on the ground, clearly, and you know, she's pretty comfortable, I think, in unorthodox positions there.
And putting the pressure on Norton as well, not allowing her to use that cage to wall walk and get back to her feet.
Let's go if we want to stay there.
You can see Norton's got a good instinct there to block on the bicep with her right. Nice pull and trip. That's a really great rhythm of that.
Norton able to lock up that right leg of Harpe in a half guard.
Lock up the right leg and push on the head to try and prevent her from getting posture for big strikes. So now Harpe, you know, looking to pass, looking to hit and pass while, and avoid being tilted over, being swept.
Talk about the good base there of Erin Harpe. Norton is trying to induce a scramble, and Harpe is just having none of it. Norton able to kind of control the posture, get her close a little bit.
Stay busy. Work the pass and strike. Work the pass and strike.
30 seconds remain here in this opening round.
And by locking down her arms and her head, she is keeping her, like I said, from getting, you know, posture and big strikes. The opportunity to throw elbows is there, and I think, you know, Harpe is seeing that, but she might be a little bit, you know, more eager kind of to get to that mounted position or to get, you know, to a stronger base there. I mean, actually, she's got a pretty strong base right there. She's probably trying to prevent the sweep. A lot of damage to the left leg of Norton, the outside of that.
5 minutes in the books between these bantamweights. Autumn Norton, Erin Harpe, Invicta FC 36. Don't forget our featherweight title on the line later in our main event when Pam Sorenson takes on Kaitlin Young. Round 2 underway. Autumn Norton in the whites, Erin Harpe in the black. What a quick movement here from Norton, but she eats a leg kick.
She showed some very impressive and good instinctual, like, counter positioning off her back there against Erin Harpe. But I can tell she probably wants to keep this on her feet for this round. She's going to look for those big strikes.
Tweet coming in from SureDog.com. Appreciate all the contributions on Twitter, at Invicta Fights, at TJ DeSantis, at JulesK_fighter, hashtag Invicta FC 36. Nice right hand there by Harpe, finds a home. Seen a lot of dynamic striking from Erin Harpe. We talk a lot about her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game, but she said, honestly, I like hitting people.
She does. She actually said, you know, Gina Carano was a superhero to her when she saw her fight, and I think she really wanted to kind of adopt that dynamic striking style.
It's interesting to see this new generation of athletes talk about the generation that inspired them. Who thought any of this would be possible?
I did.
Shannon Knapp did. Erin Harpe now getting in close on some offense. Off balance there for a brief moment. We'll see if Autumn Norton can pummel on the inside.
And her cage control right there was really nice there. You know, she used that overhook to push away and got the underhook. And now you can see she's controlling the head and spinning Harpe around, trying to keep control and keep herself from getting taken down. She really needs to get her hips away, and you can see she does that.
Autumn Norton had an opportunity to settle in top position, but you see some respect of that ground game of Erin Harpe as she disengages. Now back at space, 3 minutes left in the second round.
I think I've said grit and control 75 times already, TJ, but we're really seeing a lot of that, especially, you know, grit out of Autumn Norton, coming forward. She's still light on her feet. She's looking for the opportunity to get on the inside and then disengage so she doesn't get caught in the jiu-jitsu web.
Kick launched again by Harpe.
And Harpe's striking was really fun and really dynamic. There's some creativity there with her movement. You know, you can see she wants the takedown, but I think she'd be really happy with a knockout victory.
Nice right hand. Seen that on display a few times here from Harpe.
And Norton did a good job at her response, and her head movement was a nice instinctual boxer movement right afterwards.
You see a lot of boxing technique on display by Autumn Norton as well, and it's much more kickboxing offense from Erin Harpe.
Yeah, and I think, well, that double round kick was super fun. I think that kicks from a longer fighter, you just kind of, you see the leg, you get hungry for it. I was rarely a longer fighter, but, you know, like in our main event tonight, we can see Kaitlin Young just loving leg kicks. Nice hook.
Trying to answer the kick from Harpe is Norton with that right hand. She's got powerful hands. Stalking forward is Norton. 90 seconds remain in the round. The strikes from Harpe, I think they're still being thrown, but they're not as powerful as they were earlier in the round. I think you see Norton kind of coming alive with more offense here in this second frame.
Yeah, I think she's getting a read on where her range needs to be and where she needs to disengage in those exchanges so she doesn't get tied up. Those, long leg kicks, that's a problem. Still, I think, but she's doing a nice job of keeping her legs in motion, keeping her posture low, and I think, honestly, that left hook, faking to a left hook, could work very well for her. Nicely done by Erin Harpe.
45 seconds left. Nice left hand finds a home for Norton. Corner of Norton saying that Harpe is tired. Trying to will their fighter to move forward, maybe make something happen in the final 20 seconds.
And she does keep walking her down, and she's doing that little leg trip, or excuse me, that kind of the kick, the shuffle, ball change, Muhammad Ali shuffle there. Oh, nice exchanges there. It's a nice way of saying, hey, I'm still letting my feet, I'm still in this, but really nice exchange from both of them right there. Big shot.
Left hand find a home for Autumn Norton. 10 minutes in the books between these bantamweights. Autumn Norton, Erin Harpe. Erin Harpe immediately takes the center of the octagon.
And yeah, just like in the first round, she's charging forward, but you saw in the second round, she was put into backwards motion. Nice takedown.
And a lot of time here for this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wizard to work close guard for Autumn Norton. We saw Norton earlier in the fight go for an armbar. She does have submissions off of her back. And she's throwing some offense of her own, but it's punches.
She is, and you can see Harpe wants to get to the inside and kind of control those biceps or get her hands in a good position where she can force the legs to open up and she can force the pass. Autumn Norton is using, there's a lot of abdominal reach that kind of goes with that, trying to lengthen the body and get that extension so you can get good strikes in and you can get your hips in a position where they can move back and forth.
Norton, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, underneath a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. But it is mixed martial arts. It's different. We've seen blue belts in MMA tap out black belts. I remember we saw Kevin Burns do it to Juan Carnero in the UFC with a triangle choke, and it really can't be understated. Mixed martial arts is the level playing field for grapplers and mixed martial artists. And right now we see a scramble. Norton again, now trying to maybe frame up a triangle, but not able to get that left leg under control.
Not able to do that, but she was able to use that positioning to off-balance her opponent and get back to a controlled position. Somebody's bleeding.
There is some blood. I'm not sure.
I think it's Norton's nose, TJ.
Okay, Norton's nose.
Look at the way she's controlling the head, though. She was pushing on the head that can prevent the pass, but you can see, ooh, that's a lot of blood.
Trying to work a knee shield here is Norton. Kind of sneaking some elbows as well. Battered and bloodied is Autumn Norton, but still fighting.
All of her victories as an amateur have come via stoppage. So, she's definitely in, she really wants to get a finish here. And when you see blood, when judges see blood, you kind of wonder what they're going to say. Look, I really like the way, excuse me, talking over myself, but Erin Harpe is setting up that pass. That was so lovely.
Now in full side, 2.5 minutes plus to work.
And I think Erin Harpe herself knows it's pretty important to get a finish here, too, on the ground. If they go back to their feet, she could be a bit more tired. And fighting somebody with good defense on the ground can be exhausting. Nice mount transition.
Getting some word that the blood came from a knee that she took on the floor. Hopefully we can take a look at that. Arm isolated here, top position, 2 minutes to work. Now maybe sitting off to the side, maybe going to go for a triangle choke submission maybe, but that's a nice elbow. Out the back door goes Autumn Norton. But credit to Erin Harpe for able to stay in control here, not letting her get back to her feet.
And you can see the way Norton frames and pushes away. Erin Harpe's trying to write that out, but when she gets her feet on the hips, she's able to get some pretty, she's able to basically withstand some offensive, some strong offense. It makes Harpe kind of have to crouch in there, bury in, and try to control the hips a little bit. And although she's in top position, and she is the one who drew blood, she's still, you know, she definitely wants that finish. You can see, looks like almost trying to set up a head and arm choke with that dive forward.
Yeah, it looked like Norton was going to try to stand up there, but Harpe aggressively moved forward and was able to get in this half guard. Now back to full guard. You got to admire the effort from Autumn Norton off of her back with these strikes, but it's maybe too little too late. I think she needs to make something happen here. This third round, a lot riding on it in the final minute.
I might actually push against that, TJ. I think she's doing exactly what she needs to off her back, besides getting back up to her feet and forcing it, you know, but that's a hard thing to do against a jiu-jitsu brown belt. I think that, well, I'm just admiring the fight from both of these two, honestly. They're both displaying really great technique in different ways. The inside control and the way that Autumn Norton is trying to control the head and then trying to control the hips from the bottom. It is defensive, but it's strong defense, and she's getting her strikes in too.
100%. You worry about the judges, though. It's very difficult to win a round when you're off your back, even if you are throwing strikes, but never say never. Final 20 seconds here in the fight.
And if I were Harpe, I would be posturing up right now, trying to get those big elbow shots, trying to put, you know, a stamp on my top position, get that big damage in there, see if I can get, you know, 10-second finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at Octagon side, Kevin Champion scores the contest 29-28 for Harpe. Judge Greg DeFilbus scores it 29-28 for Norton. And Judge Stephen Graham scores the bout 29-27 for your winner by split decision, Erin Harpe.
Owner of the fastest knockout in Invicta FC history, Chantel Coates takes on Kaitlin Ginger Sammons. Touch of gloves, we are underway. Sammons in the black and tan, Coates in the black and red. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas for Invicta FC 36. Appreciate you joining us tonight live on UFC Fight Pass. See the jab here early of Coates.
You can see Sammons' footwork and the way she's moving her head. She definitely doesn't want to be on the receiving end of one of those knockouts. Coates is staying nice and composed, but also moving her feet back and forth, probably trying to avoid a possible charging in takedown, excuse me.
One of our favorites, Tommy Toehold, checking in on Twitter tonight at Invicta Fights, at TJ DeSantis, at JulesK_fighter. Hashtag Invicta FC 36. Hard right hand finds a home for Chantel Coates.
You can see Sammons smiled at that. Sometimes fighters smile because it hurt, and sometimes they smile because they're like, oh, I took your best shot. Nice kick there to the lead leg of Coates. Flurry of action on the feet. We talk about the boxing of Chantel Coates, but Ginger Sammons has spent a lot of time working capoeira, not a traditional striking art, but still very much a striking dance, I guess you would call it. Yeah, huge cultural tradition. I wanted to point out that even though she has that boxing experience, Chantel Coates' chin is quite high, and I think Sammons is trying to find that opening to get there. Another spinning attempt.
Hard right hands on the inside there by Coates. Light on her feet here is Sammons. Taking the lead leg by Coates. See that jab again by Coates, and again a kick by Sammons.
And that inside kick to the lead leg can disrupt your opponent's momentum and their ability to throw a hard, especially a hard right hand or a hard cross. But you can see Sammons is definitely trying to stay covered there. I think, well, I know that Chantel Coates hits quite hard, and I think she's starting to really try to load up that shot and get that one-hit knockout. Sammons' nose is pretty red, as is her chest a little bit. It's like she got hit a couple times there.
Ooh, nice shot there by Coates. Seems like Coates is waiting a little bit for Sammons to make a move and then counter off of it.
Yeah, I think you're right there, TJ. I think she's you know, hoping for that takedown attempt, so she can work on the inside with her striking. But she does have the longer reach. Nice kick exchange.
Grab on point there by Coates. Kick to the body there. 3 minutes down here in this first round.
Sammonson's footwork is still fast, but not quite as poppy as it was earlier.
Nice kick to the body again by Coates. We talk about her boxing. She's got kickboxing as well when she mixes in those kicks.
Yeah, she's some Muay Thai experience as well as, you know, being an Army veteran. She's done the training there, the combatives training there. Oh, nice!
Locked is Kaitlin Sammons. Shots on Coates, trying to score another knockout. And Sammons smiling.
She's smiling, but she felt that one for sure. Leading with that leg kick is maybe not the best idea against somebody with such a hard jab and such a hard right hand. And man, Coates has really good accuracy on those long shots.
The right hand there, that one didn't land as flush as she would have wanted it to. With the power of Chantal Coates, you can hear a hush over the crowd, almost waiting for an explosive combination.
And Sammons is staying in motion, trying to, but she's been cracked a couple times.
Right hand right there. Credit to Kaitlin Sammons for walking through it. We've seen the right hand and the night of an opponent before. Ashley Kleinbeck was not able to survive the onslaught of Chantal Coates, but eating some shots as Ginger, Kaitlin Sammons able to weather the storm thus far. "20 seconds remain in this opening round."
You know, I think Coates has so much confidence in her power. It's really her jab that's doing a lot of the damage here, TJ. Those flipping front kicks are a really nice way of keeping your range, but if Sammons isn't careful, you know, she can be out jabbed to a big power shot. Nice idea to wrap up right there in the exchange.
Round number 2 ready to get underway. Chantal Coates, Kaitlin Sammons. Sammons a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We'll see if she's able to utilize that here. Exchange of kicks early.
Coates' footwork is much more active in the beginning of this round, you know. Chin's still super high there, TJ, but you know, that kind of confidence to carry it like that. She's seeing something or she's feeling something in this that allows her to have that sense that she's not going to get hit as much.
Swing and a miss with a high kick by Sammons.
Sammons is really working there for the inside, trying to stay shelled up there and get those little shots in there.
Sammons content to kickbox thus far. I'm not sure why she hasn't switched and maybe try to get this fight to the floor, but it's a lot easier said than done, especially when someone's throwing power your way like Chantal Coates.
Yeah, and she may have a strategy because Coates missed weight very slightly, you know, that maybe she's going to try to exploit a hole she sees in the conditioning. And again, she is bouncier. She's staying in motion, but honestly, I would take her down if she had the ability to. And I would not be leading with that inside left kick. It is a good way to disrupt the right hand, but you have to land it at the right time or you're susceptible to the right hand.
Punch out the break there. It looked like Sammons was going to try to grab a hold of a leg of Coates, but unable to do so.
She has really fantastic composure in her responses. You know, when she gets hit or she lands her combinations or attempts her combinations, she comes back to that tight position just out of range.
Doubling up on the right hand is Coates. Nice right hand again by Coates. Coates really able to throw with power and sit down on his punches because Sammons hasn't really shot for the legs, hasn't really tried to catch her off balance too much, content to exchange with her, and I think that's why we see the confidence a bit of Chantal Coates growing.
Yeah, and I like the way she did that little switch stance to that right hand. It's a good way of offsetting, you know, nice. Yeah, I think she's just getting a little bit more pop in those punches. I think that Kaitlin Sammons, you know, when she does land, she's not quite able to land with as much power.
This fight causing Julia Kedzie to shadow box here in the booth. Don't hit me.
Well, I make no promises.
Past the halfway point of this fight. Talked a lot about the jab of Chantel Coates. A lot coming off of it. It is an offensive maneuver. You can't get hurt by a jab, and I think we've seen that red in the nose here of Caitlin Sammons, but combinations usually off that jab. An underutilized technique in mixed martial arts.
It is, but you can see the way Sammons' posture is and the way she's moving. She's more cautious of that right hand. She's actually shifting her weight more to her right foot, more to her back pocket, which leaves her a little bit more susceptible to that jab. If I were Chantel Coates, I'd really be pumping that thing out there. Nice liver kick to grab her.
Credit to Sammons, still marching forward.
Yeah, I'd like to see Sammons try more hook punches, try to get outside of that right hand. Nice right cross length there, but she's really not able to get inside the reach as well as she should for a good takedown.
Are you surprised that Sammons hasn't tried to initiate a clinch and maybe slow down the pace of the fight that way?
Well, she just did. Oh. But yes, I think that's a really good idea. I think it's a good thing to do to push Chantel Coates onto her heels, get that takedown, and put her on her back or take her back.
We've seen Ginger Sammons in this position before. Rear naked choke victory her first time around, now trying to get another one. A lot of time here. Chantel Coates in trouble. There it is, and it's done! Kaitlin Ginger Sammons weathered the storm, got in top position, and made it count. My goodness, Julia Kedzie, the composure on display from the now 2-0 Kaitlin Ginger Sammons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 4 minutes, 10 seconds of the second round. For your winner by way of tap out due to rear naked choke, Kaitlin Ginger Sammons.
Kaitlin Ginger Sammons getting it done. Submission victory, now 2-0 as a pro. She will. Marcela Silva getting this atomweight assignment. The little savage, Elise Anderson. She meets the Canadian now training in Dublin, Katie Saull. TJ DeSantis, Julia Kedzie, Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas, Invicta FC 36. Saull in the black, Anderson in the red and black. Anderson, go ahead.
Excuse me, I said Saull's got that long stance. She immediately executed an inside leg kick against the taller fighter.
Anderson training out of Extreme Couture for this matchup. She lives in Michigan, has trained with Felice Herrig in the past. Unfortunately, Herrig suffered a knee injury, which caused her to go back to Extreme Couture, a place that she trained as an amateur.
Elise seems to be setting up that right hand or setting up some kind of attack from the right side, and Saull is moving into that dominant side. Got cracked a little bit there to the body by Anderson.
Saull, originally a boxer, was really taken to jiu-jitsu and the grappling side of mixed martial arts. Right now, kickboxing though with Elise Anderson, who's aggressively moving forward. Now going for the takedown is a little savage.
You can see Saull had a little bit more of a deliberate footwork, a little bit slower of a draw there, but she's doing a nice job on the inside of staying patient. But Anderson's eager to get this to the ground, or eager to get the action moving here. Pushing Saull up against the cage. Saull has that right underhook to try and prevent and create space, and Elise Anderson's now pushing and trying to get that bicep control. Nice foot stomps.
A 3-4 landing for Elise Anderson. Now kneeing the inner part of that right leg of Katie Saull. And up high with it as well.
And that was a smart thing to do. You know, Saull was stripping the hand with the knee, which left her head exposed and not tucked against Anderson's body, leaving her susceptible to that head strike.
Talk about Katie Saull taking this fight on 10 days notice. I asked Elise Anderson if there was any thought to maybe not take the fight when her opponent had backed out due to injury, and she said absolutely not. I'm fighting. I only fight once a year. This is almost like a Christmas period for her. This is her a vacation from the real world. She wants to put on a show, and is trying to do that here, halfway point of round number 1. On the back now of Katie Saull, 1 hook in.
She's backpacking nicely. You can see Katie Saull's trying to strip her off the back. Elise is crawling up and using her legs to balance and get into a rear naked choke position. Nice striking. Saull's trying to stay upright there, but yeah, Elise Anderson has her right arm across the face, possibly under the chin of Katie Saull. Katie Saull's now trying to get out the back door. Looks like it's over the chin, but also is locked in pretty tightly there.
The crush of the jaw can elicit a tap. We've seen that in the past. Very careful here is Katie Saull, trying to get Anderson to release that grip.
And at this point, it's all about making sure you protect your neck, but also you get into good positioning on the legs, getting your hips over to the side. You can see Elise Anderson using one hand to kind of get underneath again. She's trying to fish for that rear naked choke as she figure fours her legs to try to extend the body of Saull.
Now going palm to palm with that grip, but still punching is Anderson. Saull trying to maybe make a scramble happen, pushing on the fence.
I hate this camera angle. I can't see if she's under the chin or not, but Elise Anderson's doing a nice job of wrapping up right there. I can't quite see her face. And now she's trying to transition to mount and does so.
Elise Anderson now trying to fire away some shots in top position. Saull giving up her back once again.
Giving up her back to get back to her feet, and she's keeping her chin tucked, and she's fighting for hand control against Elise Anderson. She's staying very composed. You can see she's probably trying to turn in. If she shifts her right elbow to the inside, she may be able to move to guard, but Anderson's hooks are in a very good position, a very nice position for her to be able to control and sweep.
Mixing up her shots was Elise Anderson, throwing some forearms to the body. Very uncomfortable position for Katie Saull to be in. Now back to that body triangle. 30 seconds left in this opening frame.
With those long legs, you know, she's able to make, Elise Anderson, excuse me, is able to make adjustments with her hips and turn over. Katie Saull, again, on defense, again, I'm not quite seeing the angle, but you can see Elise Anderson pulling an arm out so she can strike to capture a better position. Saull defending, crawling up the cage there with her legs, looking to get her hips free. I admire her composure down there.
5 minutes in the books between these atomweights. You mentioned round 2 ready to get underway. Elise Anderson, Katie Saull. Atomweights inside the Invicta FC octagon. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Kansas City, Invicta FC 36. Featherweight main event title on the line. Pam Sorenson, Kaitlin Young headed your way later tonight on UFC Fight Pass.
We see more frenetic motion there from Elise Anderson than Saull. Saull's kind of hypnotizing in the way she's stepping forward, throwing long strikes, staying back in that left side pocket, whereas Elise Anderson's more traditional in her movement. But Saull's able to land those long strikes, you know, pretty well for a shorter fighter against a longer fighter.
Looked like Anderson was going to try to go for a takedown, bailed on it through a right hand. Coming forward, nice right hand there by Anderson. As we mentioned, the composure of Katie Saull on the floor. This is her world. She started as a boxer, not afraid to stand and strike. We'll see if she can make some adjustments and get some offense going here in the second round.
Yeah, she's a lot of confidence in the way she's moving. And Elise Anderson, although she may have the reach advantage, she's not using enough kicks. I think a head kick right there, especially a right head kick, could, you know, pay dividends. Nice head movement there from Saull.
It's one thing to keep in mind. Elise Anderson is fighting just one time a year, doing a camp, getting ready, training. When you talk about Katie Saull, she moved from Winnipeg to Ireland to be a full-time fighter. Now on the floor once again, locks up a closed guard.
Yeah, and Saull was eager to get this back to the ground. I think she feels more comfortable there. And Saull closed up, breaking down the upper body, trying to keep the posture of Elise Anderson down and in control.
Feet on the hips here. Anderson trying to step over and pass, but Saull shut it down. Holding her close is Saull.
And you can see the way Elise Anderson's trying to get back to that kind of position, not to have feet on the hip. She dips one hip in and then the other, and now she's forcing Saull back into a closed guard position. where she doesn't have quite as much leverage to push her away. I'm not a huge fan of figure 4 guard, and it looked like she was almost, Saull was going for that, but it is a good way of shutting things down a little bit. Elise Anderson's posture is very low, but she's using her head kind of to grind and push for position.
We talk about the figure 4 when you have the back of somebody. When you're on bottom and you have a figure 4 guard, it's not as constrictive of the diaphragm like it is when you're on the back, and also it really limits your offense, I think, right?
It totally does. You know, it limits their ability to maybe set up really strong strikes with their hips, but you have to have some pretty fast hips on the bottom yourself to transition from that to sweeps and submission attempts. You know, I think it's utilized a lot when you're setting up high guard attacks. Armbar attempt there.
Answered by a strike, right hand from Anderson. Touch over 2 minutes remaining here in round number 2. We see Elise Anderson stack up once again.
Yeah, she's stacking up. Her head is down and her hips are high, and that can, if Saull has control of one of those arms, that can put her in a difficult position, you know, for submissions. But she's doing a good job of trying to wrap around the hips, keep control of the hips, and keep Saull locked to her.
You see the feet on the hips there again of Elise Anderson by Saull. Is she trying to make an effort to maybe try to push away and induce a scramble? Well, she won't need it. Looks like we're going to go back to the feet. Marcia Silva resetting them.
To answer your question, yeah, absolutely. And I think also keeping control of the upper body, it induces a scramble, but also shuts down kind of her, nice left hand there. Saull's getting real aggressive moving forward. There's a little bit more, pepper there in her footwork.
Should be wise to do so. 1 minute remaining here in the second round. She spent some time on her back. Maybe can force something. The judges take notice of it now. Again on the floor.
And Anderson ducked her head in for that, and it took the secondary submission to get Saull to the ground, but she is successful once again. And then, you know, judges, depends on how they score those takedowns versus strikes, but Anderson has been pushing the action on the ground in terms of getting it there and getting, you know, positionally more, I guess, aggressive.
Under 30 seconds left in the round. Back to that figure 4 guard. Trying to maybe cut an angle off the cage was Saull.
She's still doing it. She's trying to get her hips to the side so she can do something with that head, kind of roll for that armbar with that triangle position. Elise Anderson staying buried there. Yeah, we saw Elise Anderson striking from the guard. She had rapid strikes from the guard. She was staying very busy on top.
Back underway, Saull, the southpaw in the black, Anderson in the red and black.
Solid. I like the way she's faking and feinting right there. Very, very quick switches with her head. And again, Anderson is more, I don't know if it's frenetic. Her pace on her feet looks faster, but it's not necessarily doing all the damage until she actually dives into that takedown. She really needs to get those long strikes in there, set up some good combos, and hit the leg.
Saull coming alive with these punches. Anderson rushing forward.
And I think Saull's punches probably hurt quite a bit with her boxing background and just kind of seeing, you know, there's some not extensive damage, but definitely some redness on the face of Elise Anderson.
Change of kicks there. Right hand by Saull.
I like that inside leg. Oh, big hook. I like that inside leg hook, or that leg kick, excuse me, but Saull is doing kind of a check hook thing with her right hand, which turns her back away slightly. And again, it does set up a position for Elise Anderson to throw a head kick.
A lot of exciting fights here inside the Invicta FC Octagon. Some people noticing our expressions on Twitter. We have fun with our jobs, Julie. Why not?
This job. I love doing commentary. I love fighting, TJ.
Nice left hand there, finds a home for Saull. Anderson wearing some of the damage on the forehead.
She is, and you know, Saull's counter strikes and her one hit, I don't know, she's got very strong hands, very good hands. Elise Anderson diving in once again for that takedown. You know, understanding that that's where she's gonna have more success is making Saull defensive on her back and positionally.
Saw Anderson throw that foot stomp again a moment ago. Working on the fence here. Nice utilization of the head by Anderson.
Nice utilization, yeah. And, you can see her setting up some of those left knee strikes to the head too when Saull's head is low. I think a little bit more activity with Saull's hips if she can kind of spin out there. She's a little tall right there, but you know, she is doing a nice job getting those little strikes in there. Nice elbow there from Anderson.
2.5 minutes remain here in this third round.
And those double underhooks are great, great for Saull. She's able to spin off the cage and get control to a controlling position.
See what Saull can do with the position. If she wants to try to disengage and maybe get the fight back at space, or if she's content to maybe do some controlling here and make something happen.
And this is where Anderson, again, she's up the pace there like she was doing with her striking and really work on getting her hands to the inside. Judo attempt there, and she's able to drive through and get Saull back on her back.
Back in the guard, Anderson trying to step over. Clears the legs, now inside.
And that's how she was successful with that, driving that knee through and concentrating that shoulder pressure.
Now trying to step over for mount is Anderson. Saull shutting it down for the moment. Back to guard.
Yeah, Saull used that left butterfly hook to really, shut that down and to read that. You don't want to mount too quickly or you leave that opening. But, oh, spit out her mouthpiece.
A mouthpiece on the floor. 90 seconds left. We'll see if Marcelo Silva decides to pick it up, but right now letting the athletes work. Some elbows off her back for Katie Saull.
Nice elbows and, again, positioning those feet on the hips, excuse me, and stretching Elise Anderson out and then immediately reclosing the guard when, she feels like she's losing control of that position.
Final minute of this atomweight fight.
The way Elise Anderson is stretched out, by putting her feet on the hips like that, Katie Saull is able to shut down her ability to posture and throw really hard strikes. But again, Anderson's throwing a lot of punches. She's staying very, very busy.
Trying to grab a hold of that neck is Saull. Doesn't really have the position to put Anderson in any danger there. Anderson stacks up. Saull trying to push her away. Flurry of offense here, but now back into the guard.
Yeah, big hammer fist attempts to pass to side control.
Final 10 seconds for these atomweights.
It's these little adjustments that Saull's making off of her back. It may not be the dominant position, like I said, and Elise Anderson never slows down. She is always busy. She's always active. But it's those little positional things that can really shut down somebody's offense and keep them from hitting you very hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at Octagon side, Kevin Champion scores the contest 30-27 for Anderson. Judge Stephen Graham scores the contest 29-28 for Saull. And Judge Greg D. Philbis scores the contest 29-28 for your winner by split decision. Out of the red corner, Elise Little Savage Anderson.
Elise Anderson getting it done. A split decision goes her way. A little bit of nerves on her face when she found out it was a split decision, but ultimately her hand is raised and on a little bit of a roll is this young atomweight. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Memorial Hall here in Kansas City. Victoria Leonardo in the black and yellow. Stephanie Geltmacher in a color she calls unicorn cotton candy. Left hands, combination, now shooting in. Leonardo answering combinations of her own. Nice uppercut there by Leonardo.
Leonardo's got some heavy hands there, and a lot of those were landing, but it really didn't slow Stephanie Geltmacher's attack down. Nice drive to the double leg, controlling. Oh, excuse me,
Wrestling
Leonardo's
pedigree
back
on
up.
display now, clinched up against the fence. Geltmacher had some nice right hands. Content to let her go and go back at spaces. Geltmacher, hard right hand there.
And that overhand over the top of a taller fighter is a good strategy, to get your shot in, waiting kind of just at the end of their punch and then throwing it, especially for somebody who wants to get the inside and take her down.
Leonardo wanted to use her reach in this fight, thought teep kicks would be to her advantage, but able to close the distance is Geltmacher back in the clinch.
And they would be to her advantage. She was aiming at the hips, which is a smart thing to do, but it does kind of give away it gives away distance just a bit if she doesn't land it exactly accurately. Good kick there from Geltmacher.
Geltmacher, the wrestler, not afraid to exchange on the feet. Having a hard time getting on the inside of those long punches from Leonardo.
Leonardo threw two very hard right hands. Geltmacher is walking through them and getting her own shots in there too, backing Leonardo up. Now Leonardo circling there, getting that underhook and putting Geltmacher up against the cage.
Leonardo, no slouch of her own in the grappling department, coming off a rear naked choke victory in her last Invicta appearance. Of course, we broadcast live on a worldwide format in UFC Fight Pass. Tweets coming in from Singapore. Appreciate the love. At Invicta Fights, at TJ DeSantis, at JulesK_fighter, hashtag Invicta FC 36. Talking about an international stage, Victoria Leonardo trained with one of the fighters in our co-main event, Janeza Moran, has spent a lot of time hailing from Brazil. She spent a few weeks at the Elite Combat Academy with Leonardo. Halfway point of this first round.
Leonardo staying in motion. She's landing flush quite a few times, and that can be it can kind of befuddle you to be landing hard shots and then also just getting cracked right back and dealing with the pace of Stephanie Geltmacher. She's always staying in motion. She's always staying very busy, and her level changes are extremely good, of course. Nice level change there from Leonardo.
Leonardo almost turning to a 90-degree angle to Geltmacher. We saw some side kicks early.
And I think side kicks are actually a very good idea, provided she gets that leg back quickly. Possibly spinning out to a spinning back fist off her right hand, if the leg is grabbed. A good strategy for her. You don't want to leave your leg out there too long because it can be grabbed.
Rushing in again is Geltmacher. Big left hand and a right. Are you surprised at all with Leonardo's confidence with the kicks? I mean, she is throwing them at an all-American wrestler. She's not afraid to do so.
No, I think she has extreme confidence in herself, and she knows that right hand has been landing very successfully. So, throwing those kicks and having that, ready to go afterwards that would give me confidence as well. It's a flurries from Geltmacher that can be just so frustrating, right? You hit her flush, and then she just kind of moves forward and just flurries at you. And you have to be aware of that takedown at all times.
Leonardo landing with some punches, a nice right hand a moment ago, but Geltmacher still coming forward. You can see the confidence here growing for Leonardo. Geltmacher again coming forward with that flurry of shots, able to push her up against the fence.
She's pushing her up against the fence, and Leonardo securing that head frame and that overhook and able to spin around. She's done that successfully twice now. A little bit more head movement from Geltmacher would get her out of the way of that right hand. I don't think she's afraid to take a shot, but if I were Leonardo, I'd feel pretty good about my boxing right now and my, the accuracy.
Flyweights inside the Invicta FC Octagon, final 10 seconds here in this first round.
Nice kick.
Combination here for Geltmacher. What a fun flyweight fight there. First round in the books. Geltmacher wearing some of the damage on her forehead. Stephanie Geltmacher, Victoria Leonardo, TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas. Flyweights coming out very aggressive once again. Winging that right hand is Geltmacher. Mixing in a kick there as well.
And more head movement. You can see she's making those adjustments, moving her head out of the way of that right hand a little bit more, and also taking that left flank angle.
Believe in it, baby. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Now inside the clinch. Trying to go for a throw. Is Geltmacher immediately into mount. Decides to step off to side. Interesting choice there, but now on the back.
Wow, she turned right into that.
That is the chain wrestling and grappling of a 4-time All-American, Stephanie Geltmacher, in control with a lot of time on her side.
And Leonardo's rolling through, you know, her jaw is trapped and she shook that one hook free, but she's still in a very precarious situation right there. Still in danger of being stretched out. There's some nice blood happening there from, I think, both noses at this point.
Trying to roll through it is Leonardo, staying in control. Flattening her out now is Geltmacher. Leonardo grimacing, not in a good position.
No, you can see Geltmacher hooking that hand with her right arm, and she's rolling through now.
Nicely done by Leonardo to get in top position. Now she'll try to make Geltmacher pay.
And wrestlers do not like being put on their back. We know the Geltmacher trains her jiu-jitsu a lot. You can see Leonardo's grabbing the fence there, but she's making the adjustment to try to climb on Geltmacher's back, and she's got that underhook. Geltmacher heads down and really driving in, trying to pin the hips and keep Leonardo from stretching her out. And
look at Leonardo controlling that right arm of Geltmacher.
Very smart. Almost, she could set up a crucifix right there, TJ, if she got the right positioning. You can see reaching to the inside for that single leg can be quite dangerous.
No space, though, given by Leonardo. Coming forward, punches, now putting Geltmacher back into the fence. The blood flowing from the wrestler's nose. What a fun fight here at 125 pounds.
Incredibly impressive from Leonardo, working out of that, you know, explosive positioning and really getting her own good spot. Nice elbow there. Ooh, big
now
shot from
Geltmacher. Knees to the body, but Leonardo still controlling this clinch up against the cage. Halfway point of the fight. Disengaging is Leonardo, now back at the center of the octagon.
Her right eye looks extremely swollen, TJ. Looks like she took a pretty hard shot there.
Geltmacher talked about that fight of the year candidate with Liz Tracy, and that's a fight that she learned a lot about herself. Maybe she'll rely on some of that heart that got her through that to get through this one.
Yeah, oh, you would need that. I mean, Leonardo she is a tough cookie out there. You know, she's being backed up a little bit, still throwing her shots and fighting for inside control. Now she's backing Geltmacher into the cage.
Flyweights throwing hands here. Now in the clinch. Looked like Leonardo may have been stunned there for a brief moment, but came back with some punches of her own and now controlling Geltmacher up against the fence.
And those elbows, the fact that her hips can be back so far, those elbows and those knees, you know, it really sets up a nice position. Wow, that eye is swollen.
You know that's going to be a target moving forward. Geltmacher with a nice left hand. Leonardo comes high with the kick. Geltmacher able to move away. That was a nice kick to the body area there from Leonardo.
Well targeted. It really stopped her momentum. Oh!
That one right on the chin. Nicely done by the Fury Victoria Leonardo.
Love me a side kick to the face.
Coming alive again with these kicks is Leonardo. Going to make Geltmacher think about coming forward, but she still does with some punches. Nicely done there by Leonardo to put her on the floor for a brief moment.
You know, I was talking about accuracy of front kicks to the hips and to the body. Smart strategy, especially at this point in the game, because you can see Geltmacher slowing down just a bit, trying to get her bearings, and Leonardo's able to really keep her at bay with these giant kicks.
These ladies going for it. Nice kick to the lead leg of Leonardo by Geltmacher. Now back to the clinch. Leonardo trying to make space and move and get away. Now controlling Geltmacher. Final 10 seconds here of the second round. What a fight.
Wow.
10 minutes in the books. Flyweights putting on a show. Victoria Leonardo, Stephanie Geltmacher. Stephanie Geltmacher said she wanted to hunt for a bonus tonight, and this is shaping up to be a candidate for fight of the night, to say the least. Third and final round underway. Leonardo in the black and yellow. Geltmacher, no stranger to that fight of the night bonus. That was one she earned against the Titan Liz Tracy in Oklahoma. And again, far from out of this one, throwing some combinations. Coming forward again as a wrestler with these strikes, backing up Leonardo. It's really not fair to call Geltmacher just a wrestler, a four-time All-American. That's why she carries those credentials. But she's a fighter, and she's displaying that.
She's a fighter, absolutely, TJ. Nice right leg kick there to disrupt the balance of her opponent. You know, Leonardo's working those front kicks to the body, working those stop attacks and those long punches. But, you know, I mean, what do you do? Geltmacher is just this kind of ball of fury coming forward, and Leonardo's doing what she needs to do by staying at bay and trying for length. Nice hook.
Talk about the wrestling credentials again of Geltmacher. In the Tracy fight, she only went for one takedown. Fight never hit the floor. And we really shouldn't be surprised that Geltmacher loves a fight. She talks about her roots in Hawaii. She said, hey, people on the island, we just like to fight. And we're seeing that again inside the Invicta FC octagon. Leonardo trying to throw some punches of her own here. Try to dissuade Geltmacher, take the fight away from her. But
and something that Leonardo does well is, you know, she moves out of the way into an angle after those exchanges. After sitting down on a punch, she moves out of the way, keeps her hips away so that it's harder for Geltmacher to shoot in right underneath.
We saw Leonardo have some success with kicks in really throughout both rounds of this fight. It's not changing the approach too much, though, of Geltmacher.
No, I think Geltmacher, well, it's like, I don't know if people remember Leonard Garcia style, put your head down and throw, with definitely some more chained wrestling to it and her hands up a little higher. But she's, you know, she doesn't care.
Leonard Garcia reference, utilize that UFC Fight Pass subscription, people.
I think that Geltmacher thrives on her own blood a little bit. Like, I think that's, you know, that makes her hungry to keep moving forward. She's super bloody right now. I think there's a cut over her left eye as well as the, you know, the damage to her nose.
A little over 2.5 minutes remaining in this third and final round. A lot on the line here between these flyweights. Nice combination of punches, or exchange of punches rather, by both ladies.
Leonardo staying in motion, moving to her right, you know, getting her shots straight down the middle, whereas Geltmacher is kind of coming in with the curved punches, throwing her head down, and just, you know, really winging it at times.
Left hand gets through by Geltmacher.
I like that jab, that up jab positioning, I think is really smart.
Biting down in the mouthpiece and coming forward is Geltmacher. Leonardo with a nice right hand.
And they're really christening the new octagon with blood.
.90 seconds left in what has been a very action-packed fight. Pace slowing a little bit. It might build here in this final 90 seconds. Nice right hand there by the Louisiana native in Leonardo. Kick again.
What you have to appreciate about this kind of fight is they're both being tactical, but they're also just really enjoying the melee. They're throwing down when they need to throw down and just letting go when they need to.
Both ladies showing the effects of this fight, as is our octagon. Final 45 seconds here left in this round, in this fight. Both athletes would love to make a statement. The win will go a long way at 125 pounds.
And I like how Leonardo throw hands, wait for the opportunity to throw that leg kick, so that's always keeping Geltmacher kind of questioning the opening. Geltmacher sort of does the same thing with her level changes, but because she hasn't shot quite as much, it's not necessarily a threat to Leonardo. She's not, you know, I guess, assessing it as such.
Final 10 seconds between these flyweights. Geltmacher coming alive. Right hands, Leonardo covering up and still firing as well. Geltmacher might be in trouble. What a fight!
Take my money.
Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the scorecards, please put your hands together for these two gladiators. What a fight inside the Invicta FC steel. Having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Judge at octagon side, Stephen Graham scores the contest 29-28 for Leonardo. Judge Kevin Champion scores the contest 29-28 for Geltmacher. And Judge Greg DeVilbus scores the bout 29-28 for your winner by split decision. Out of the red corner, Stephanie Geltmacher.
Still flawless and undefeated is Stephanie Geltmacher, getting a split decision here in Kansas City. She will. Atomweights are ready to go in the Invicta FC octagon. Lindsay, the damsel Vanzant, back at Invicta FC, taking on Jessica Delboni. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas. Delboni in the pink, Vanzant in the blue. The Brazilian taking the center of the octagon. The movement here from the New York native early.
Yeah, head kick attempt earlier from the southpaw stance. Looking to tie up and get things to the ground early on. But definitely, I like the way that Vanzant stays bouncing and she stays lateral in movement, even when she's moving, up against the cage or she's moving backward.
Talk about the dynamic striking of Vanzant. Solid on the ground as well. Purple belt, been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 13 years. See if she can put it to use here on the floor. Kicks to the legs there by Delboni. Almost caught off guard, though, by Vanzant.
Yeah, she kicked to the inside of the knee right there, which was a smart target to hit by somebody in motion. Taken down by that single leg, but she was controlling the head and also bracing on the hips of Delboni, making it hard for her to pass the guard or launch any kind of big offense there.
Delboni content to throw these kicks, not allowing Vanzant to get back up, and also not allowing the referee to really force them to disengage with this attack still going on.
Yeah, generally the referees don't let that bicycle position happen too long. You can see she looked for a get up right there, but she's targeting right below the knee at shin level, which will straighten that leg out, maybe right at the knee, but below the knee right there at shin level is a nice way to straighten that leg out and keep Delboni from launching power.
This position has deep roots in martial arts. This was the position that I refer to as Ali Inoki position because it was a position that Muhammad Ali fought Antonio Inoki in Japan a long time ago. We see an issue there with the wardrobe. Marcelo Silva still letting them work.
Wow, look at the way Vanzant trapped that leg between her feet and used it as an opportunity to get up when Delboni responded.
Combination missed there by Vanzant, but answered by a kick to the lead leg by Delboni.
It's the second time Delboni has caught a kick, third time now. Unsuccessful in the takedown. Wow, Vanzant's jumping up to that high guard positioning.
Rubber guard implemented here by Vanzant.
And she's locking, or she was locking her down by grabbing that foot and using it to adjust her position. Now you can see she's sideways, but still controlling the hip with that foot. Delboni's locking her up and trying to keep her in a pretzel position, but Vanzant very flexible and looking like she's setting up an omoplata.
I wonder if she has the ability to do so with that cage sort of keeping her from getting the right angle.
Yeah, that cage and Delboni's wrapping up her hip with her left arm is going to make that motion a little bit harder to do. But she could be going for a go-go plata right there.
That would be something. You don't see that every day in mixed martial arts.
And it actually is great in that positioning because then she can use vertical leverage as opposed to that horizontal spin.
This is a position where we see Delboni in top position. A lot of people feel that is the controlling position, but it's Vanzant that's doing most of the action here despite not having a lot of room to do so.
Yeah, not having room to do so. And, here, like, the style that I would be doing is trying to look for a way to climb my way up, but Delboni's burying her head and actually preventing Vanzant from getting a brace against the cage for a get-up. Now you can see Vanzant getting that left butterfly hook to create space and sticking her fingers in the cage and pulling herself around.
It's not a foul unless the referee calls.
According to the first fight, underhooking that, so she underhooked the leg and now she's tying up Delboni's left arm. That's really beautiful positioning to that triangle.
Offense again, not on the side of Vanzant. Still some time to work here, see if she can make something happen. Delboni content to just throw some strikes here. Not a lot on them, but also not getting away from this position.
No, but that is the problem with underhooking in a guarded MMA. You're leaving your head very exposed, and Delboni's posture position there was preventing, the choke from being locked on, and the way she's maneuvering her right arm. She is in a kind of a triangle guard, and now Vanzant is wrapping up her left arm, and she was wrapping up her left arm, switching her legs out to get more, to tighten up around the neck. But I don't think it's going to be finished right now.
5 minutes in the books between these two atomweights. Round number 2 underway. TJ DeSantis, Julia Ottolino, Invicta FC 36 tonight live on UFC Fight Pass.
We saw, Delboni grabbing for kicks, getting Vanzant on her back twice during the first round. Oh, nice inside leg kick.
We saw Delboni in top position through that first round. So far, content to kickbox. We'll see if she changes her attack. Lindsey Vanzant hasn't made it easy for her when she was in control on the floor. And right now, Delboni throwing some strikes off the kick to Vanzant.
And you can almost see Delboni's mind kind of working, like, I don't know, out loud when she got hit with that first kick, and then she timed the second kick for the takedown. Now it's Vanzant with the takedown, and Delboni on her back.
Delboni able to get back up to her feet. Now back at space in the center of the octagon.
Stylistically, it's interesting to watch the way Delboni hunts for her attacks against the taller fighter, and the way Vanzant, she stays in motion, but she stays lateral, she stays bouncing. She's looking for her openings, and she doesn't stay still, which I appreciate.
He's kicking into the lead leg of Vanzant by the Brazilian. Delboni relatively new to the atomweight division. This is only her second fight at 105. Again, she fought Ashley Cummins in her first effort in Invicta.
She has excellent awareness of where to center the cage is and where to stand. Another leg kick grab. Vanzant's pulling, she's retracting the kicks a little bit faster there. It's getting harder to put her on her back. She's keeping her hips back a little bit farther. But it's still a controlling thing. Vanzant with another takedown.
See if she's able to secure this one a bit more. Looks like she is. Stepped over the legs here. Now goes to side. Nice elbows there by Vanzant. North-south position.
And here, where Vanzant is the taller fighter, she's going to try and probably stretch Delboni out and keep her from shrimping up, keeping her from launching any attack that'll get her legs in motion laterally. Delboni back to side control here, and attempting to shrimp, get that her left knee connected to her left elbow for positioning.
Nice adjustment there for Lindsey Vanzant, maybe going to try to frame up the Kimura here.
Yeah, I was thinking an armbar there, but you're right about the Kimura, and then she rolls to the back there.
Nice chain grappling here by the damsel.
Lovely. And she's doing a nice job with that right underhook as well as she rolls.
On the back here. Right hook in, 2 minutes left to work.
Delboni controlling her right wrist and trying to get that arm over the head so that she can turn in. You can see she's adjusting her position again.
Is the cage helping Delboni here?
Yes. Yeah, you use that as a pivot point. You can almost cheese grate somebody's back if you get enough motion in. But Vanzant controlling the head and then again working for that underhook with her arm as she keeps her legs in motion. You really need to have very educated feet when you're trying to keep top control.
Able to maintain this position is Vanzant, body triangle. Delboni now putting her feet on the fence, maybe trying to make some space.
and get her hips lower, I think, so you can set up an ankle lock from right there. I'm not sure that she's looking at it. I think she's mostly concerned about defending that choke and getting her hips to the side. Her chin is tucked nicely. She's really putting weight on that arm so she can turn in. Vanzant's making the adjustments and the punches so that she can try and wrap up that rear naked choke. She's really fighting for that, or possibly that arm bar.
Vanzant, again, a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it's one she's worked on since she was 13 years old. And don't fall too in love with that belt color. Right now, fall in love with this rear naked choke attempt, though.
Yeah, you know, she's relentless there. Delboni, again, good defense, but she's turning into that bulldog. She's really connecting her hands, and it's across the jaw. Again, that's painful, but it's survivable.
Yeah, the Brazilian wills her way through it. Now covering up the mouth is Vanzant. Again, it's all about discomfort here, and I don't think Delboni's very comfortable.
No, I don't think she's comfortable either, and you can see the way Vanzant's stretching her legs out. She's setting up that leg. Oh, she's using it to pick her grip apart. Delboni's turning in. She's got to be careful of that arm.
Dying moments here in this round. Delboni able to get through that submission attempt, and TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas, Invicta FC 36. Touch of gloves, third and final underway. Nice right hand there by Vanzant, finds a home. Goes for it again, gets taken down though.
Delboni wrapped up right underneath her, and you know, it was almost as a Vanzant seated guard, because I think she's very comfortable on her back. Yeah, setting up the high guard grappling was really successful for her in terms of shutting down Delboni's forward progression.
Looks like the Brazilian's trying to clear that leg and get into at least a half guard here.
She is, and you see the way that left butterfly hook is inserted so that Vanzant can get her hips free, and Delboni's now shoving her up against the cage, trying to control there.
Again, we see Vanzant maybe flirting with that rubber guard. She bails on it.
You can see the positioning of Delboni's right elbow was kind of what was preventing that, the way she was keeping it that tucked. You have to get a little space under that elbow to get under the armpit. Looks like she got that space now.
We talked a lot about what the judges weigh heavier, control or attempts and movement. And Delboni in top position throughout this fight. We'll see if this fight goes another 3.5 minutes, if the judges will reward her for that. But the athlete's definitely making it hard to sort of figure out who is winning these rounds, with both fighters, you know, being in offensive positions despite being in traditional defensive positions at the same time.
Yeah, and you know what you have in your favor on top is gravity. Like, actually, I don't actually agree with that. I would have liked to see some more work down there, just because I liked the way Delboni was pushing on her neck up against the cage, and I liked the way Vanzant was working, but whatever, we're on our feet now. But yeah, gravity when you're on top, that helps. You have to have that, use that to your advantage for your striking. You have to have some kind of attack, or you're just holding.
Talk about positioning as well, you know, on the feet. You see Delboni constantly in the center of the octagon, and that can be rewarded a lot for the aggressive position. Octagon control, a criteria in judging mixed martial arts, and Delboni, I think, trying to say that, look, I'm controlling where this fight is taking place and the pace of it.
But much like, you know, top position, you really do have to launch a lot of attacks from right there. You might control the real estate, but if you're not, you know, if your output isn't high or it isn't strong, then, you know, or the judges don't deem it so, I should say that. I think her output's great. You know, you are in a tight position. Up against the fence here, again, exhausting for the fighters. Often it is the fighter with their back to the fence who is judged against, but you can see she's doing a lot of work right there, and she's hitting those knees. I like Delboni's head control, though. I like her underhook. She's really keeping a nice pin there.
We talked about in the last round where Vanzant was making Delboni uncomfortable. That head position can really make your opponent uncomfortable, and I think Delboni trying to implement that same sort of pressure here in this third round.
You can see now Vanzant's reaching for that head raise. She's pushing against the head to create space and get her hips free. Delboni continues to attack, but Vanzant is able to break that clinch.
Back at space, 90 seconds left in this atomweight fight. Lindsey Vanzant moving to the center of the octagon. Trying to find an angle is the New Yorker. That one getting some gas from this Kansas City crowd. Looks like Vanzant tried to initiate a clinch maybe for a takedown there, but Delboni shut it down quickly.
And you know, Delboni keeps her hands so low, but that is actually almost, it works to her advantage to get those underhooks because she's a little bit shorter. She's able to get underneath with those low hands, and when the strikes don't necessarily connect, she's on the inside.
Spinning attack there a moment ago by Vanzant. Delboni was wise to it, able to initiate a clinch off of it. And again, control for the Brazilian. Meaning the thighs there of Vanzant.
Vanzant was attempting that toss with her off of her right leg and then adjusting so that hits her out. It's a nice way to, well, she's reaching around the head, and you can see Delboni's shorter than her, so she's able to push her hips out. She's able to shut down that judo toss. Guard joke.
High guard here for Lindsey Vanzant. Time not on her side, final 10 seconds.
Go, pull the hat. Keep with the triangle.
15 minutes in the books between these atomweights. We go to the judges' scorecards once again. It's been a tough night to score.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at octagon side, Kevin Champion scores the contest 29-28 for Delboni. Judge Greg DeFilbus scores the contest 29-28 for Vanzant. And Judge Stephen Graham has the bout 29-28 for your winner by split decision. Out of the red corner, Jessica Delboni.
Another 6. Ducote in the red and black, Moran in the black and blue. Ducote talked about the striking approach of Janeza Moran. Said that Muay Thai is something that she's familiar in fighting and not going to change her style of striking despite Janeza Moran having a more typical Muay Thai approach to mixed martial arts striking. Very content on wanting to fight her fight.
Yeah, you can see she's, you know, throwing some measured jabs out there quite fast, but not overextending herself yet. Short little kick to the inside, but you know, she's looking for that read.
Ducote has 4 wins by submission. She thought if this fight went to the floor that she would have a clear advantage over the Brazilian and Moran. Janeza has changed up her camp, training at American Top Team in Coconut Creek, and also with Victoria Leonardo at Elite Combat Academy. We saw Leonardo earlier this evening.
That was a huge right leg kick for Moran. Oh,
nice right hand
nice.
finds a home there by Ducote.
It's funny because Moran, you know, she's kind of a flurry, right? She's always in motion. Ducote seems very deliberate out there, fast, but very deliberate, very particular.
Ducote standing in the center of the octagon, fires off a kick, the lead leg there of Janeza. Moran really attacking that lead leg of Ducote. Ducote's got some kicks of her own, though. Just right hand there for Janeza. Look at the demeanor of these two ladies as well. You see, you know, quick, a lot of movement from Moran, but stone face and kind of content to take her time is Ducote.
Yeah, no, a lot of movement, but also, like I said, deliberate. You know, she's hitting fast and she's hitting hard, but she's not staying there in exchanges. She throws her shots and then she moves right out of range. Or tries to move out of range. Janeza's hit some pretty hard shots in there. Nice head kick. One thing that Janeza has always had going for her is her movement. And you can see that Ducote's outstepping her. She's attempting to outstep her and keep control of that center so that Janaesa's always on the move, but never outstepping her left foot. Because when Janaesa outsteps her left foot, that's when that right leg kick lands and nothing hurts.
Nice right hand finds a home by Ducote, and then Moran fired off a combination of punches as well. Kicks adding up here for Moran. With the right hand, Ducote.
It's interesting the one shot hits that Cawley has been landing. Now there was a little bit of a combo going on there from both of them. I'm trying to look at Moran's right eye. It looks a little swollen to me. I think that left hook should be utilized by TJ. I think that, you know, the way Moran is moving to her right, nice upper hand.
It comes high again for Ducote. Jab gets through by the opening. Combination of punches by Ducote.
Very fast long swing.
Emily Ducote gets it done! Victorious in her Invicta FC debut! She waited, she was patient, she saw an opening, she pounced, and she stopped the former title challenger in Janaesa Moran, Emily Ducote. She makes that first impression very memorable.
Well, that was beautiful, TJ. Really found her mark on those right hands, and then when she saw the opening, like you said, took it, pounced right in there for the ground and pound.
Doctors checking Janaesa Moran, who started protesting immediately. She has the heart of a fighter who wanted this win very badly, but rendered near unconscious by Emily Ducote. Dropped and hurt very badly. Ducote did not hesitate at all to put in the finishing touches. Referee Nick Barron's forced to step in, and that is a huge win for the newcomer over a former title challenger.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 4 minutes, 3 seconds of the first round for your winner by knockout, Emily Ducote.
TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas. We are underway. Pam Sorenson in the orange shorts. Kaitlin Young, black trim in white.
And this fight is tactically so interesting, TJ, because Pam is very much a counterfighter. She likes to draw out people's jabs, move to her right, and hit over the top with right hands and left hooks. And with Kaitlin, she smells blood, and she tends to crowd herself a little bit and not use her reach to her advantage. And so, nice jab there from Young. So, you know, it's interesting to see a little bit of a different start there from Sorenson.
Both these women respect each other immensely, coming from the same area. They've worked together a lot with each other in promoting fights in Minneapolis. It's really crazy that they haven't fought prior to this meeting in a mixed martial arts rule set. They've both been circling one another, and tonight it finally happens in Kansas City.
Yeah, matching up, you know, in grappling tournaments and a kickboxing fight, but this is, for both of them, their forte. This is what they love, and this title means quite a bit. Kaitlin Young moving to her left. She really needs to cut off the right hand of Sorenson and cut off her ability to outflank her in that direction.
We talk about the experience of Kaitlin Young fighting all the way back in 2007 on national television, but it's Pam Sorenson that has the edge here in title fights in Invicta FC. She went to the 4th round with Felicia Spencer. She's maybe going to call upon that experience here tonight if this fight goes in the latter championship rounds. And
she has excellent footwork. She showed it in that fight. Felicia Spencer had some very unorthodox, nicely done for Kaitlin Young on her back. Continued the drive of that double leg. Yeah, Felicia Spencer had some unorthodox attacks, which rattled Spencer, rattled Sorenson, who is now on top and climbing onto Kaitlin Young's back.
Yep, on the back now is Sorenson. She ate a shot, but immediately went for that takedown. Now in business, Young standing. Sorenson trying to get her off balance, shifting her weight.
And she's got double underhooks, and you can see where she's pulling her hips in and yanking down, trying to off-balance her. Now, Kaitlin Young up against the cage.
A bit of a moral victory there for Young not to be stuck on the floor with Pam Sorenson on her back and able to get back in space.
Yeah, and she has, again, developed her ground game, really worked on her wrestling here, but, you know, you go back to your bread and butter, and that is Muay Thai for Kaitlin Young. It's actually Muay Thai for Sorenson, too, but she has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and does an excellent job with control, especially from top position.
Mentioned the championship experience in Invicta for Pam Sorenson, fighting in a title fight. She was a regional champion at 135 pounds and now focused on featherweight. Nice right hand for Young, and then gets out of the way quickly from Sorenson's offense. Sorenson fires off a right hand. Now feigning that takedown, you see the reaction there by Young.
Yeah, and you know, this is a great tactic here from Sorenson with the level changes and really trying to find those strikes in there. It's a switch up from her, you know, her usual counter fighting, and I like to see that from her. It's, you know, it's changing things up, and it's keeping Kaitlin kind of guessing.
Young stalking Sorenson.
This is where Young needs to be careful. When she smells blood, she overcrowds herself, and that's where she can kind of get off balance. And Sorenson has excellent wrestling from the clinch, but Young's doing a very nice job of staying patient.
This combination there by Young. Sorenson might be in trouble, feigning a takedown. Young has to respect it. Still throwing punches, though, was Sorenson, but she definitely ate some hard hands there from the striking Viking.
And she's blinking a lot, it looks like, and I don't know if that's kind of a way to, you know, shake nerves off, or if she got hit a little bit in the eye there.
The striking Viking, while she took time off of mixed martial arts, was actively competing in kickboxing, but now they have to show off that grappling game. Again, gives up her back to Sorenson. One hook in for Pam, now two.
And that was a lovely overhand to a double leg there from Sorenson. Again, double underhook position on Kaitlin Young's back and really fishing for that rear naked choke.
Look for a body triangle. And control. You got 30 seconds, man. 30 seconds. Roll up on top, baby. Roll up on top. Get that. Get the hook. Get the hook.
And this is where we see, you know, Kaitlin Young, again, being patient. This is where we've seen her kind of, you know, when on the ground, we've seen her get frustrated, and that's how she's giving up, you know, submissions. And this is where Sorenson actually shines. And look at that, Kaitlin Young reversing.
Knee to the head of a downed opponent. Maybe a bit accidental by Kaitlin Young, but it still landed, and we'll see how the referee wants to handle it. Tough situation there. Referee taking a look at Sorenson. It was a foul, not a groin strike, so she is not allowed up to 5 minutes to recover. She will maybe be seen by the doctor or not. It looks like she's going to be okay. Referee talking to Kaitlin Young.
I'd like to see how he measures that out.
Young had a fight in Japan earlier, or late last year, where that strike would have been legal, but here it is. Look at this.
Look, she's wrapped up. You can see Sorenson's got both hands on the ground, both her knee and her fingertips on the ground. Oh, taking
there it is,
away.
A point taken away by the referee. Sorenson was on her feet and was a legal target for a brief moment, but when the knee landed, it was thrown after she had already gotten back on the floor. And now Kaitlin Young down a point here in round number one, and final seconds here expiring in round number one. 5 minutes in the books in our championship fights. It was not an accident that it landed, and fortunately the fight continues.
The Kansas Commission really on that point deduction right away. No warnings or anything like that. We see Kaitlin Young taking the center and driving forward again.
We talk about the composure of Kaitlin Young. It's something that she said that she had more clarity of since taking the time off and coming back, and now she's got to probably feel the fire a little bit, having that point deducted. We'll see if she can remain calm and not let that affect her fighting style here in this fight.
Yeah, it's funny. She's not a overly emotional person, but when she fights, you can see the emotion, you can see the passion in her desire to finish every fight. Now, what I'm admiring about what Pam Sorenson did in the first round was she was going for a lot more double legs. Oh, nice left kick. You can see Sorenson is so instinctive in her footwork. You know, she circles to her left even when she's hit hard. She's always circling away. She's always looking for, you know, a way to come back with another shot.
Remember, we are scheduled 5 5-minute rounds. This is a championship fight. Nice right hand there by Young. Sorenson coming forward. If you are Kaitlin Young and you think you are down maybe 10-8 after that first round, this is a 5-round fight, a lot more opportunity for her to maybe level the scorecards should she feel that she lost that first round.
Yeah, I think, and you know, she gave up the takedowns and her back 2 times in the first round. Now, once again, Sorenson is on her back, and she lost that point. It looks like she's across the chin, not under the chin yet, but...
And now the crush here by Pam Sorenson. Kaitlin Young has never been submitted in her mixed martial arts career, despite largely having her roots in striking.
Kaitlin Young?
Sorry, 3. She never won a fight by submission.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the wrong part of the sheet. It happened. But right now, she needs to worry about this. Figure 4, body lock here for Sorenson.
Young's doing a very nice job defending, but she's, you know, Sorenson is wrapping up, and it looks like she's sneaking that left arm under the chin. Kaitlin Young continues to use the cage, continues to stay measured, and she's got Sorenson's right arm trapped to try and prevent that secondary choke attempt.
Young not allowing Sorenson to get that grip that she had a moment ago. That body lock, though, controlling. And again, the position here, we talked about the fence a lot throughout the evening. Is there anything that Kaitlin Young can do to make Sorenson uncomfortable and maybe not be content to try to work this position with her head against the fence?
Well, I think she needs to definitely be, you know, concentrating on fighting legs too, and also getting, you know, switching her hip position so that she can get a little bit more control when the scramble ensues. Because, you know, by controlling her wrist like that, she's shutting down the rear naked choke, but she's not shutting down what could be a, you know, a flip to an arm bar. Oh, nice. She wraps it around again.
Trying to roll into the guard, though, is Young. Looks like she's going to get there. Nicely done.
She's got to be careful of that right arm, though, TJ.
Sorenson, a well-rounded mixed martial artist, has offensive attack from her back. So a lot of time here in this round. And for Kaitlin Young, having her back controlled, that speaks volumes to the judges. We'll see if she can launch some offense here. She may be down on the scorecards thus far in this round, but again, 90 seconds, a lot of time to work, and still also a lot of time for Pam Sorenson to maybe grab a hold of an arm.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Sorenson, I like her offense from top position a lot, but she is skilled on her back. She doesn't, ooh, nice elbow there. She keeps her legs in motion. She doesn't slow down, and she's able to connect her, moving her feet with wrapping pieces of her body down. Wow, big welt on the leg there. This is where Kaitlin Young, it's just about getting your head in the right place, getting your hands in the right place, and making sure you're not overextending.
Sorenson trying to get a hold maybe of the head there, controlling the posture with that arm over, but see Young stacking, putting the pressure on Sorenson with that fence.
Yeah, she's in a head and arm position from the guard, and really driving her up against the fence, which, that's, no. All right.
Referee intervenes, stands him up. 30 seconds left in the round.
Little blood there on the left eye of Sorenson.
Changing levels and going for that takedown as Sorenson kind of lost her balance trying to get back to her feet. Hard right hand there by Pam off the failed takedown attempt.
This is where Kaitlin Young's, yeah, she needs to stay active in her motion against that right hand and against that takedown. Nice.
Nice combination there at the end of the round by Kaitlin Young. Young immediately taking the center of the octagon again, pressing forward on Sorenson, who's on the perimeter. Nice right hand there, finds a home for Young. Sorenson kind of lit a fire under there, coming back with a hard right hand of her own.
You know, and that's what she's very good about doing is finding a home for that counter shot, TJ. That's right.
Nice 1-2 combination there by Young. Hard winging right hand in return there for Sorenson. Didn't find the mark though.
And you know, it's almost about like Young needs to pin her up against the cage, but with strikes, not not with a clinch position. And Sorenson needs to pin her on the ground. It's just a matter of dimensional pinning. Nice overhand. Didn't land, but you could hear a big thwack.
Still a lot of power there for Pam Sorenson. Nice kick there on display by Kaitlin Young. Combination of punches, flurry of action. Sorenson trying to get the fight back to the floor. She does. Scramble here. Now back to the feet in the clinch.
Nicely done. That's where you cannot stay still. You cannot be on your back against Sorenson. You have to stay in motion. And you know, she really rallies in later rounds, but Kaitlin Young is doing a nice job of corralling her and forcing her to fight the direction she wants her to fight.
Right hand on the button there for Kaitlin Young. Talk a lot about the kickboxing experience of the striking Viking. No stranger to kickboxing is Pam Sorenson. She had a kickboxing career before really settling into mixed martial arts. Now settling in position here. Young trying to induce a scramble, gives up her back once again. She's done this several times.
And you know, she feels there's kind of a moral victory there. She knows she can get out of it because she has earlier, but it is giving up a position. And giving up a position against somebody who really doesn't tire that easily is not necessarily what she wants to do. Nicely done, though. I mean, she's rolling, she's reversing it, ending up on top.
Still not out of danger yet, though. Pam Sorenson does have an offensive guard. Halfway point of this championship fight. Sorenson able to get her head away from the fence a little bit, more room to work. Now getting back closer to the cage, elbow there by Young.
She's got to watch that arm bar, but Sorenson's climbing up, using her hips and the cage nicely.
Arm bar coming! Pam Sorenson trying to take home the arm and a title! Kaitlin Young in trouble. She can hit three, and she does.
Okay. I was startled. I didn't see what the ref was saying right there.
We didn't have the angle there. Thought we may have had a champion for a brief moment, but now back on the feet.
Yeah, that was odd disengagement. They both just kind of decided to get back up there, but well done by Kaitlin Young to avoid both those submissions. She's doing a great job on her feet, and Sorenson, that double leg was really well timed.
We've seen the takedown offense from Sorenson throughout this fight. Is that changing the striking style of Kaitlin Young in your mind?
I don't think so. I think, I think Kaitlin, she's a measured striker. We saw in Faith McMaw how she is really upping that aggressive, I guess that measured aggression is what I mean. I think she needs to be a little bit lower in her stance, though. She's doing a nice job of avoiding the clinch, mostly. It's when Sorenson gets underneath her that she's in trouble.
Shooting again on the outside is Sorenson, nicely sprawled out, though, by Kaitlin Young, able to stay free and back at space.
And adding that circle to that sprawl is really what's doing her right in her takedown defense. When she's avoiding being put down, when she sprawls deep, but she also circles away, and she gets her hips in the secondary. Single leg taken away.
Kick comes high by Young. Two very evenly matched featherweights vying for the Invicta FC 145-pound crown. Ooh, nice combination there by Sorenson on the inside. Young trying to fire back. Sorenson coming alive with these strikes.
She had Kaitlin pedaling back for the first time in this fight. Wow, taking it from Kaitlin Young.
Wise to it was Sorenson. Final 10 seconds here in this third round. Memorial Hall coming alive. 15 minutes in the books. We are headed to the championship rounds. We talked a lot about the composure of Kaitlin Young, but we've seen the heart and composure on display of Pam Sorenson in the past. You mentioned the Edion Gomes fight. It was a hard fight for her that she really hung tough throughout and said she learned a lot about herself in that fight, and now 100% healthy, she feels that she can rely on that durability once again inside the Invicta FC octagon. Pawing that jab here to start this fourth round is Pam Sorenson.
And we know, Sorenson had the medical issue. She had that tumor removed, but Kaitlin Young also faced her own medical issues earlier this year when she had her, well, actually it was last year, but she had her face broken.
A badly broken orbital that she suffered in Australia actually kept her on the ground for a few weeks after her kickboxing fight. Sprawled out is Young on this Sorenson takedown.
Sorenson was smart to set that up with strikes, and Kaitlin Young defended it very well, but you saw Sorenson immediately dive back in, immediately get Kaitlin going backwards again.
Punching combinations here for Pam Sorenson. Doubling up on that jab, then throwing the right hand, now again on a takedown. Trying to widen her base is Young. Takedown there, nicely executed by Sorenson.
And she turned the corner on that, so she had her legs trapped, and Kaitlin was using the cage to defend. Sorenson turned the corner on that and was able to create that space and really yank her down. But she's got her leg tied up and her hip down. Caitlin's staying composed right there, but her leg is tied up, and there's a possibility of her turning and giving up her back once again. I'd like to see Kaitlin Young actually push her head the other direction and shift her to the side.
Sorenson inching up the legs, though. We'll see if she can try to get Kaitlin Young away from the fence, but she elects to take the back as Young gives it up once again. That right hook in, I don't believe the left one is, nope, it's not.
It's not, and Kaitlin had her arms trapped, she disengaged. Sorenson's using that arm to strike. She's probably gonna try and snake it in, but you can see Kaitlin working her hips to the left, trying to get her butt to the ground so that she can turn in. Ooh, that was a big shot.
Young has to respect these right hands from Sorenson. Young able to roll into top position again. Half guard here for Sorenson.
Young needs to really work on that shoulder pressure. Sorenson has good legs and good angles, but it's the shoulder pressure and keeping her pinned which will allow Kaitlin Young to shift a little bit more and get to a position where she can strike if that's what she's looking for. She's digging underneath that elbow, probably looking to tie up the head and arm choke. Probably has to use her head just a little bit more and watch her balance on that half guard. She can get tipped over to the side.
We talk about the evolution of Kaitlin Young, always progressing as a athlete and fighting, and now we see the ground skills from her. I call it a quarter mount.
Yeah, that was well done. She used the leg to pry her knee free, and she's crawling up, and you can see Sorenson on her back. Kaitlin Young
triangle coming. The striking Viking trying to pull off the first submission victory of her career. Sorenson maybe in some trouble trying to get away. She's able to get back to her base.
Kaitlin Young trying to get the back, but she left her leg extended a little bit too much. Now she's tying up that crucifix position, but Sorenson's turning into her and attempting to get the single leg.
90 seconds remain in this fourth round. Pam Sorenson caught in the submission a moment ago, now trying to get in an offensive position on Kaitlin Young, back to the feet.
And this is all about Kaitlin Young getting that left underhook. Really, this is where somebody should be exploding on that counter shot. They got back to their feet. You want to be the fresh fighter when you get up. It's, shot, counter shot, shot, counter shot. Kaitlin Young tied up here.
Nice elbow there by Kaitlin Young.
And this is where I thought she would be, in clinching positions. I thought she'd be much more vulnerable, but ooh.
Nice kick to the body there. Now in the clinch. Sorenson elects a jump guard. Trying to get this guillotine framed up. 45 seconds remain in the fourth.
Caitlin's put her against the cage. I can't see if Sorenson's hands are locked. It looks as though they are, but Caitlin's draped over the top.
Getting her head free now is Young, uppercut on the break by Sorenson. Less than 30 seconds remain, back at space.
They're so tough, TJ.
The championship fight, champions are made in these championship rounds. Combination of punches by Sorenson, now in on a takedown again. Young has been able to stuff it thus far, but now on her back to end this fourth round.
Sorenson was deep on there, and Kaitlin didn't circle her hips quite enough and get herself free from that.
20 minutes in the book. See some blood on the face of Pam Sorenson as she gets up. 5 minutes left for these featherweights to figure it out. We are underway Pam Sorenson, Kaitlin Young, the winner of this fight, the new Invicta FC Featherweight Champion. Seen this a few times with Young taking the center of the octagon, Sorenson on the perimeter. Elbow at range by Young, misses. Nice kick to the body by Sorenson. Sorenson tried to land an elbow of her own, finished with a kick on the inside leg of Young.
And she's bouncing and she's, she's striking a little bit more crisply.
Right hand by Young, followed by a combination from Sorenson. Hear the impact of that kick. On a double leg is Sorenson, able to clear the legs, trying to step over again. Half guard here.
This is where Kaitlin, she's trying to keep Sorenson from crawling up the body, trying to keep her from pinning her. Sorenson does a nice job of combining that ground and pound with those submissions. She really tenderizes her meat before she goes for it. So Kaitlin Young's keeping her wrapped up, keeping her upper body wrapped up, and she's got to use her legs and her hips to try and control Sorenson. I think she's trying to get that left butterfly hook, but not quite getting it there so she can shift her hips over. Bad camera angle for me right there.
In this half guard, touch over 3 minutes remain in this championship fight.
Sorenson's dragging that right knee across into mount. She's got Kaitlin kind of turtled there. She's not fully in now, but she is in a position to deliver good ground and pound and take the back.
Young not completely giving up the back, but
out the back door, in fact.
Scramble now. Sorenson trying to take the back once again, get those hooks in. Right hook is inserted. Now the left hook is inserted.
I don't know if she's, again, Kaitlin's fighting hands and she's staying patient. Doesn't look like she's under the chin. A lot of blood there from Sorenson's cheek.
Gotta believe, though, this is where Sorenson wants this fight. Nice strike there, but in control, now trying to wrap up this rear naked choke.
And she's got the ability to when Kaitlin rolls, to also, lock in an arm triangle choke if she wants to. But keeping her frustrated is a good strategy right there. Keeping her fighting for those little things while she works her legs up there and she works hand over hand over hand, digging in there for that RNC.
We've seen this pattern develop a few times in this fight where Pam Sorenson is able to take the back of Kaitlin Young, and Young's been able to turn into her and end up in her guard. We'll see if she's able to do that again. No matter how many times you get out of the rear naked choke position, it only takes one submission to win the fight, and Pam Sorenson would like to wrap that up. She's on the jawline there.
She's also stretching her out, and Kaitlin Young trapping the wrist once again. See Sorenson maneuvering around, trying to use that to her advantage so she can get top position, and Kaitlin's keeping her kind of wedged up there against the fence. Sorenson, again, she does a nice job of using hands to feed, hands to feed. She keeps both in motion at the same time. I like the way Kaitlin's using her feet to strip Sorenson's locked positioning. She also needs to push her hips a little bit, but that's nicely done there with her hooks. That leg is hurt.
Since its inception back in 2012, the featherweight division has been one that Invicta has put a lot of effort and focus in. Names like Chris Cyborg, Megan Anderson, Felicia Spencer have held that title. We are just over 30 seconds away from crowning the 4th ever Invicta FC Featherweight Champion. Pam Sorenson in control of Kaitlin Young. Body triangle really securing this position. Final 20 seconds left in the fight.
And keeping Kaitlin focused on that left arm has allowed her to kind of get that figure four position a little bit more and then drag that left arm back in across the jaw. It's frustrating, those little rabbit punches. They're frustrating and they piss you off more than anything, but they also win on you. You know, that frustration is actually, that can be points in the other person's kind of mental arsenal.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at Octagon side, Kevin Champion scores at 50-44. Craig DeFilbis, 49-45. And Stephen Graham, 48-45 for your winner by unanimous decision. And the new Invicta FC Featherweight Champion of the world, out of the red corner, Pam Sorenson.
Dominant in victory, Pam Sorenson, the new champ. She'll speak with our Laura Senko.